Let's talk about when Meghan said that there were concerns, note the word, concerns about Archie's skin color. And the reaction was instant and it was vicious. She was accused of exaggerating, of lying, and of playing the race card because the word concerns was treated like she invented it. It was treated like a provocation, like she was deliberately lying in order to damage the institution. Royal commentators, as usual, they scoffed, the press howled, and the palace defenders said it was impossible, unthinkable, and unfair. And now, years later, you need to listen carefully to the language that is coming out of the palaces, both Buckingham and Kensington, because both the king and his heir have recently used the word concerned in official statements. Concerned is a word that is carefully chosen. It's deliberate. It's been polished by aides and lawyers. This is not casual language. This is palace language. And this, for me, is where the quiet vindication of Meghan Sussex sits. My girl has been vindicated because concern is not a neutral word. It's not small talk. You don't use the word concern unless there is discomfort or anxiety or a perceived problem. In institutional language, concern is what you say when something challenges the status quo, but you don't want to name it outright. It's a soft word that carries a hard truth. Now, some people might defend the institution and say, well, maybe they were just wondering what the baby might come out as or who the baby might look like. In that case, the word should have been curious. Curiosity, not concern. And what I love is that the irony is that when Meghan said it, is that she was called dangerous. But when they say it, it's treated as statesmanship. And that tells you everything. But let's zoom out for a moment. Now, psychologically, institutions do not attack lies this aggressively. They attack truths that they are not ready to face. So if Meghan had been making it up, right? If she'd been lying about it, if she'd been making it up, the response would have been brief, dismissive, and done. Instead, we have years and years of fury and obsession and smear campaigns, overcorrection, and silence mixed with more leaks. That is not a response to a lie. That is a response to exposure. So because she's exposed them for what they are, and we know what they are, the R word, that was why they went so hard in their campaign. And then let's now add the physical distance, because the Sussexes, they didn't just step back emotionally. They literally put oceans between themselves and the system. A different continent, a different culture, a different press culture, a different power structure. And that distance wasn't just about safety or peace, it was also about clarity. Because distance gives you perspective. It removes you from any gaslighting. And I remember a particular royal correspondent saying that if the palace denies that they didn't leak against Harry and Meghan, that is premium gaslighting. He literally said it publicly. I noted it and it's in my book, but more about that later. And when you're no longer inside the room, you can see the room clearly. When you step out of a room and you're at the door and you look around, you see things for what they truly are. And what we are watching now is the slow collapse of the narrative that Meghan misunderstood or she misheard or she misrepresented what was happening, because the language is catching up with her truth. Yes, the language is catching up to her truth. Another perspective that people avoid discussing is that concern about skin color does not require malicious intent for it to be racist. You don't actually have, I'm sure whoever was wondering may not wish her unborn child harm, but it's still racist. Curiosity is one thing, but using the word concern, like, especially, if he's standing on the balcony, no, unbelievable. And concern, in my opinion, is a word that says, what will this mean for us? How is this going to look? And this actually complicates things. Many of you who've worked in corporate settings or for an institution, the moment they raise a concern about you, your performance, your this, your that, you're on your way out. That word carries a lot of weight. So yeah. Now, some people might argue, and I want to be fair, that maybe the royal family are a product of another generation. They are outdated people. They are raised in outdated systems. They're trying to navigate a modern world. They didn't know better. It was clumsy. It was cruel. It wasn't cruel, blah, blah, blah. But even if you use that argument, it actually confirms Meghan's truth. It confirms what Meghan said. So as far as I'm concerned, that word concern is actually their undoing, because the same people who writes for the royal family, who are around the royal family 24/7, are using the exact same language in their statements. And yes, at the end of the day, nobody has apologized for how they treated Meghan, and they've not apologized for the damage that they've caused her, because if you apologize, you need to admit that what you did was wrong. And in the same way, they've not apologized to the victims. But the one thing I am very happy about is that vindication has come for Meghan. And vindication is when you let time do the talking for you. It's not revenge, it's not gloating, and you don't need to shout anymore, because the language you were attacked for has now started appearing in official statements. And this is what we call archive. That same word is now in the royal archives, and they cannot lie and they cannot deny it. So when the people who dismissed you start using your words, total vindication. Yeah, I'm just really, really happy that, yes, according to people who were heckling her, who were telling her that she was trying to destroy the royal family, she didn't break the monarchy. She simply revealed what they were like. And when the same word she used in pain is now being used in power, the message is very clear. The truth doesn't disappear when you attack the messenger. It simply waits, and eventually the truth always speaks for itself. My name's Elizabeth. I'm the author of The Luxpreneur, and for more insights like these, please like, share, comment, and follow me. And to support my work, please get a copy of my book, The Luxpreneur Today, from Amazon, Waterstones, or Barnes & Noble. Or you can simply buy me a coffee. Literally, I'm on buymeacoffee.com. Just look for Elizabeth Solaru and buy me a coffee.